Hello, this is Vicky Parson from Thought Provoking Discussions. I would like to share with you all the journey and how 5968 came about. Well, 5968 Investment Limited is a company which I managed to register yesterday, and I'm just waiting for the final documents and I should be able to start business. Well, 5968, the digits, they have a significance in them, and for every business that starts out, there has to be a story of where it started, how it started, when it started. So mine is no exception. 5968 stands for the initials. 5968 stands for 5 is 5 Mile, where I resided when I started formal employment, and 9 is where I moved out from the company organization and went to rent a place up at 9 Mile in Port Moresby, NPF compound. And 6 was a temporary relocation from 9 Mile to 6 Mile, PX Village and Carnegie Street. And 8 is where I am currently at, and that is where my dream home is and my family home is. So this journey wasn't easy. When I started employment, I did a 20-year plan on what I wanted to achieve. So when I walked into the office, I said, "No, I'm gonna exit formal employment by the time I reached my 40s." So I started saving. And when I was living in a company or institution, I forfeited my housing allowance, because when you live there, you only get whatever the company pays you, but your housing allowance doesn't come with you. So after a while, I had a look at my plan and I thought, okay, if I am to buy a house at this time, living in a company institution will not enable me to, because I don't have much savings and I can't stretch my number one super and any other savings that I'm doing. So what I did was I decided to move out from the company institutional house and went up to 9 Mile and PF to rent. And while I was there, I was able to receive the housing allowance. And by then I was already in a team leader role, and the housing allowance was quite good. So I was able to save additional savings to my housing equity through number one super. And whilst there, I started discussions with doing my search for which bank I was able to get a mortgage from and which builder I was going to engage to build my dream home, and where the ideal location of where my dream home would be. So I started doing the search on that, and by 2020, after my dad passed away in 2019, 2020 I closed the deal. I signed a contract with BSP, Bank South Pacific, for the first home buyer, and the builder that I chose was Atlas Steel. And why I went for these two was that BSP provided the fixed home buyer at 4%, and that was what I wanted. And I had options of reducing the repayment plan. Also with Atlas Steel, why I went with Atlas Steel was that I wanted a building or a house that was within my budget and can fit in the location where I wanted, and I'll be able to modify and do extensions to the house. But above all, it was something that fitted into my budget, because I wanted to stay within. I didn't want to go over for 5 or 600,000. I wanted to stick within 300,000. So I think doing all this search, that helped me close the deal with these two. Signed a contract, and construction began at the site. The first time I drove to that site to have a look at the site, it was an empty block filled with water from all the other houses that were built. There was no proper drainage in place, but when I saw it, I said, "Oh, this is something I really love," because from each state, the state it was in, I loved it because I saw the potential of me developing that into something that I would really love. And but when we were still there, while we were at 6 Mile, constructions was going on, and I was driving up and down to see what was happening. And eventually by 2021, January 2021, construction completed, and I was issued a certificate of occupancy, and I moved with my family to that new property. And we have been there for 3 years now. Okay. After we moved, our son moved to New Zealand for studies, and I had to leave my job and come and be with him. But the thing I wanted to bring across was that I had a plan of owning a home, and I worked towards it. I put in the time, the effort, the extra money I had. I had discipline. I didn't just went in a spending spree. I knew what I wanted to save, how much I wanted to save, and I saved for it. And I have a home, and I'm also happy that we were able to register the business yesterday, the company yesterday, and that is where the initials 5968 comes in. The 5968 initial comes with the story behind it of my journey, and been able to do that, and I'm really pleased that I've gained the experience during the time that I was preparing to buy a home. So I know there are a lot of young people in currently working now, and would love to have a place of their own. So if you're one of them and you need advice on how to go about that, then 5968 Investment Limited can help you with that. So I hope my story is an inspiration to you. Nothing is impossible when you put God first in your life and you discipline yourself with how you spend and how you save. You can achieve things that you think are impossible. With that, thank you very much for joining me again on this another video. And from the team at Thought Provoking Discussions, we would like to wish you all a good weekend. Thank you.